What is up, everybody? Did I just short out my whole audio thing? These are Peak Design's backpacks. Everyday backpack. Do you know about these things? They're very well known and well respected in the world of like drone dudes or like camera dudes or like some women. It's mostly a dude's game. That's not true. Keep your laws off my body. The truth is they're really techy. They have lots of features. They're protected, they're padded, they look like rocket packs. It looks like Elon Musk's wet dream if he was like a mirrorless fucking camera guy. Here's the regular one from back in the day, except for it's updated. Why do I say regular from back in the day? Mag latch. It's got a magnet, opens up. Here's a brand new one that has this infinite zip system kind of thing. I think that's wandered term, maybe. Maybe they don't call it, they call it the 270 complete. Anyways, it's zipper instead of fold over. Cleaner look. Both of them have this exceptional, like sort of wings open up. You have total customization of how you set up your stuff. And it's really meant to be like a bento box on your back. They've got some updated organization on the sides. The materials are updated, 100% recycled, blue sign certified, except for this black one. Why is my zipper getting stuck here? And updated zippers. They worked with this Zoom zipper company to make this like, it'll like maybe never break zipper. And I think they look really sleek and cool. They perform great, especially you're gonna notice that when you're zipping all the way down and all the way up. By the way, 4 zippers, 1, 2, 3, 4. You can keep this wherever you want it, so you could just have top access, blah-damn, or these corner ones are always down at the bottom, and then you can get in through the side. The zippers all have this Hypalon zipper pull where there's a little nubbin, so you can actually like wrap them around each other and get a little bit of pickpocket safety. You can wrap them around each other, you can keep them together, you can put them around a handle or something like that. Nice. It just keeps those really quick moments, keeps you safe from that. Because, let's be frank, these look like rocket packs. They look like you're going literally to Mars in a Cybertruck, right? And, you know, I live in OB. It's not San Diego, it's Ocean Beach. There are so many, like, I want to say refugees that live here. People of the streets. I'm always wearing, like merino wool shirts, some loud, crazy, barefoot shoe, some crazy weird, all my clothes are from the future. I was riding the skateboard, my electric skateboard, and this fucking lady, she looked at me. She didn't look at me. She looked past me. She was talking to someone else. She was probably talking to Dragon. You know, sometimes you just see things, right? And she looked at me as I was riding by on my skateboard with my like jacket and this bag, and she's like, "None of that shit is real." And she nailed it. She nailed it. We live in the future. We live in the pretend. This is almost the upside down, except for the lining inside these bags are much better, I think, than they had in Stranger Fiction. Okay, we're gonna go through all the features. I'm gonna show you everything. The one caveat I want you to know about this bag up front is, like I've said, it's kind of jetpack looky, right? You're gonna look like that. You're gonna look like you definitely trim your pubic hair, like you might have like angles on your like it looks like you're really persnickety potentially. Maybe this doesn't look like that to you. To me, I work with bags all day long, and I like a bag that looks soft and chunky, and sometimes I love this for the protection, no doubt. I love this for the protection of my gear. I love this for the customization in the organization. I love it for the unbelievable amount of thoughtfulness in the experience of it. The Peak Design team, I take my hat off. My hair's disgusting. My hat's off to you. It's not disgusting. It's actually clean. It just is fray. It's like froey. So many details are delicious on this thing. The handles, okay? You have 1 here, 2 here. Soft, lovely, just perfect. Like you're blindfolded and your fingers will get that handle. When you're rucking around a bunch of gear, that's really useful, but also just the tactile like satisfaction of this nubuck leather on top of this nice little bit of padding. Thoughtful details. The little holes at the bottom of these side external access pockets, right? There's just little holes for moisture and dirt to find their way out of there. The gussets and the fact that you can fit an awful lot in these things, like it's always tight to put it in for me, this water bottle, because the bag feels tight, but it fits everything I've ever needed it to. Thanks, Peak Design. There are accessory straps that normally are hidden away. By the way, on that note, this one does not have that secret pocket down here. Magnets all over this bag, including like the straps have magnets. So they're like, when they're down, they're out of the way. This I've never seen before. This deserves a fucking like Nobel Peace Prize or something. There's also luggage pass-through with magnets that help keep it down. You're gonna notice magnets and that kind of stuff around this bag. All I'm getting at is little thoughtful delights you get to use on a daily basis. So if you're like, I want a compartment, I want a bento box, then this is like so up your alley. I know you can feel your vas deferens sort of quivering right now. But it can also be a little bit tight. How you set this thing up can feel tight, especially in the laptop, tablet, and quick access pockets, all right? That is in the back here. I was gonna maybe move on, but let's just jump into it right now. In the back here, you've got laptop, which has an actual, you can change how deep it goes now. For smaller laptops, it has a whole Velcro customization thing. I don't need to show you that now. You'll figure it out when you get it. Then it has another little separator with more magnets. How do they work? That's for your iPad, right? So your tablet goes right in there. Then another little separator, which is actually the tallest one and the burliest, thickest. Then you've got some quick access stuff up top with 2 built-in pouches and a pen loop. Looks like a pen loop on either side, using their great liner. I don't know what this is, but it's stretchy and I want to make a banana hammock out of it. This whole thing, when you have a tablet and a laptop, you will not be able to get into this quick access pocket very easily. I have a 15-inch MacBook Pro. I have an iPad 11 Pro, okay? And the iPad has a little case on it. When those two are in there, I can barely get in there. I have to shove my iPad all the way down to just to be able to grab the laptop at the top because it takes so much pressure to get that out. I wish they had built more into here. It actually is upgraded. It has more space from the previous versions. These two both have the same exact thing on a lot of this stuff. So same goes for this one over here. But that's where I wish there was a little bit. So that's my caveat. I just wish it was a little bit easier because, man, when you're going in and out of your laptop and it's super easy, that's so great. What are you using more than your laptop, right? This is a bag designed for being out on the go, being outside, being out in nature, using your cameras, your drones, all that stuff. And it enables it. No, I feel like I'm turning into Trump. They're great bags. They're very good bags. They're good people. I love these people. They love me. By the way, the links to everything that I'm going to mention, all the little pouches, all the little things that I'm going to be pulling out are going to be time code in the description below. So in YouTube description, I take very seriously. Everything that I mention, I try to put in there so you can find it and investigate it for yourself. And if you use my links there, including on bags like this, that's how we keep the lights on here. And that's an expensive light. So if you do purchase through my links, I'm super, super stoked about that, but you don't have to, you know. Just do a Google search for Peak Design. You're gonna find this because it's one of the most popular tech bags on the planet. So for that getting out, doing the stuff, boom, get the shot, click, click, got it, boom, side access, close it. I got everything I need. I got my drone, I got my whatever. I've got, over on this side, I've got expandability. That's the big difference here. You've got, if you need to, you can expand like a little bit, right? You can get it just a little bit more, which is nice. So instead of putting your jacket on the outside with an accessory strap, you can throw it in there. Or you have something else in there and then your jacket on here. But now you're like a fucking pack rat, you know? So it's nice when you occasionally need to throw in some extra stuff, right? Throw it right on top. This zip does not have that. But for any of you tighter carry people, comes in 15 and 20 liters. The 15 is really small. And it comes in this nice bone white color, which is, it sounds kind of intense to say, bone white. It's like, you know when you're scraping through the layers of your flesh and viscera, and you finally get down to the bone. Just grind off a few layers of that. It's that color. This is the 20 liter. It also comes in 15. That 15 liter bone color is gonna be super Instagrammable for you tech ladies out there because you get all the bento box stuff. But let's be honest, you're gonna be in their tote pack. That thing looks so sick. I'm wanting that thing. Okay, let's talk a little bit about the differences between these two. Here, I'm gonna call this guy the mag latch. It's the everyday. This is the everyday zip, okay? The mag latchy one has that expandability. It comes in a 20 liter and a 30 liter. You gonna stay up for me, baby? Come on, don't fall asleep. Shh, don't fall asleep. 20 liter and 30 liter, this one. If you have bigger carry needs and if you're a bigger boned, like larger person, 30 liter is gonna be stoked because like I said before, these can be a little tight and a little boxy. When you start getting into here and organizing into this stuff and it's taking up space, and then you've got in here, you've got like everything's got like, this is nice in here. It's just, the one thing that you're getting into all the time that can't go anywhere else in the bag, your laptop can be a little tight and fussy. And I should say, that's my experience of this thing. And I have a 15-inch MacBook Pro. They're pretty thin. They're pretty easy to get out. Most people are, about that size. And so I'm like constantly like, fuck, I wish this was a little bit easier. But I'm also constantly stoked to use it because it's like I can pull my camera out. I've got all my gear. I'm gonna show you how I've got this thing set up. People are always asking if the bag stands up, so I'm glad I get to just show you. It's like, yeah, it mostly does. One of the things on this one, you have slightly less zipper confusion. You just have two discrete zippers on either side, right? You also have, let me pull this down because that looks just funky. This mag latch has been updated, a little bit more ergonomic, same satisfying, like ridiculous, like what the f? This is like Mission to Mars kind of shit. That's so, like, to be able to do that every day, I don't know, it just feels burly and intense and good. Thanks, Peak Design. You've got zips on both up and down, so depending on where you want to come from. But you do have these little zippers. I don't like the look of this. I don't love that, personally. But the functionality it enables is sensational, and like I was saying, slightly less zipper confusion. Over here, you're just gonna have zipper mindfulness. You gotta know where you're gonna put your top zippers. Your bottom zippers are always in the corner. It's not that hard, but I have noticed sometimes I'm like, wait, which one is this? Which one? Oh, I got the wrong one. This guy also has the bottom thing. Both of them, by the way, have a slightly different material on the bottom. We're gonna talk about materials in a second. Over here, the zip, or the little cute guy, I just think it's cuter. I think it looks more attractive. I think it's a real thing to me that this looks more attractive. When it's on the body, I just think it's not actually that bad. It's not as rocket packy as their other stuff, as their previous version was, right? You still have that, vertical goes up, so the straps are coming down into an articulated sort of arm thing. Both of them have this, all their backpacks have this, but it's not that bad. In 20 liters, this actually looks pretty clean and nice. Obviously techie. This is their new midnight blue color, which is actually really, it's like a nice balance, because the black is my favorite. It looks slick. It's the only one that's not as eco-friendly as all the others. That's sort of strange. But this thing is like a space pack from the future that does all the things you need it to do. As long as you could fit it in this thing, right? And even when it's tight, that's the thing. It's just slightly a little too tight, I think, for how I've been carrying it. The zip glides so easily and effortlessly. Love it. Their new zip, which is supposed to be a lot more durable and last quite a while. I take their word on that. Suffice it to say, you shouldn't have any problems with these zips for the life of this bag. And I think you could easily get 5 years out of this thing, if not quite a bit more. The one thing I'm worried about are the meshes here, right? You can see I've got some dirt on these because I've been intentionally sort of like rucking pretty hard with this thing. And I think this material is the one material that you start to see some wear and tear on it. It starts to get ratty and you start going like, I don't feel as good putting that thing on. It just looks funky. Whereas straight up 1680D ballistic nylon would just be burly and fine. You just look like a, basic bag. But I do think this guy looks a little bit better, more interesting to me. This one looks full of itself in some ways, no offense or anything, but it just looks pretentious. It looks like it has like, are you serious? Like okay, I mean, I could tell you what I have in me, but like, I doubt you'd understand. Both of them have that laptop compartment, tablet compartment, and quick access compartment up here that I think is a little bit tight for me personally. Because when the bag's packed out, you really want to be able to get in that, and that's your quick access. You can't use it. Your quick access becomes these amazing external pockets, which are on both sides, and by the way, they have one of their key lashes that comes with it. It's elastic, so you can get it kind of far, and it's got their little clip, and that just flips right inside there. Thanks, Peak Designs. Both of them have these updated straps. I don't know if you know this, but the previous version had a lot of complaints around the straps being comfortable, cutting into the shoulders on the top and the front. These have been totally updated, and they're gorgeous. They're amazing. The material feels great. The seamlessness around the edges is awesome, right? It looks beautiful like the new Tom Bin straps. They both have that articulation here on the top, which is awesome. They both have that magnet. They both have the luggage pass-through. They both have a little sleeve down at the bottom. You can get a hip strap that's still coming. They both have this corrugated back panel, which I'll show you over here since I've got a little bit of dirt highlighting the red ruffles have ridges over here, okay? Nice little bits. It's just against the side. This is kind of hard down the middle and it doesn't quite go in, so the point is, though, it fits comfortably. It feels good. It feels like you have a very solid thing on your back, like a hard thing. It's not a backpack. It's like a I don't know, it's like a back rocket pack. It's a rocket pack. It's the Rocketeer. Both of them have this sensational inside the flap organization, okay? Zipper down here, and inside of there, where's the open? Inside of there are two little pockets, perfect size for camera batteries, all right? It's kind of like purpose built for that. And then up top, you've got this, another magnet. What? How do they work? Sorry. It's like a thing that I do on this channel occasionally. The magnet does feel really good though. It's a little circle in there. I love circle. I think it's a circle. Is it a circle? Maybe it's a square. Easy to open up, pop in, and it keeps stuff generally out of the way. This stuff here is the same thing they're using their quick access up top. It's stretchy. It's the thing I want to make a banana hammock out of. Same exact pocket organization on this side. The zipper and the Velcro, or the magnet. I need to drink some water. Both feature this really great sternum strap, which is like their own little custom thing. It just clips in. It works really well, actually. When you don't need this, it pops out over here, and you can just clip it over there so it's out of the way. Thanks, Peak Design. Both are basically carbon neutral. Where it's not carbon neutral, they're purchasing offsets, so thanks, Peak Design. That's pretty sweet. The black, there's something different about the black. I think the way they have to dye it or something like that, it's not as eco-friendly, which is a bummer because it is, to me, one of the best looking thing. And I wouldn't feel too guilty purchasing it just because, Peak are doing a lot for the environment in their choice of materials. One thing that they're doing here is everything in the external material is 100% recycled. So the outside material has been updated. You'll notice if you have the previous version of one of these, it has slightly more of a tackiness to it, a little bit more rubber silicone-y, slightly. Still behaves like a paper, like the Kodra did, feels less, and it's just so thin. It's so thin, but it's really durable. Padding all throughout. Anyways, the material they're using on this is Blue Sign certified, which is a big deal. That's a manufacturing sort of certification that the people behind Patagonia helped initiate at first, and now has become a thing that I love when companies go the extra step to get the Blue Sign certification, just because it's like, I actually don't know all the things that need to be done to make a product sustainably. I don't. I can't even fathom of all of that stuff, because you have so many, all the yarns and material, all the things that get woven into the material itself, let alone all the little buckles, scraps, clips, and webbing and all this stuff. Then manufacturing, transportation. We're still using trade routes that the fucking pirates. The old English, land ho! It's old school, man, and it's all oil, and it's all smog, and it's all stuff coming out. But we get to live like we're in the future. So this is where I wish I had one of those confetti. But 100% recycled 400D nylon shell here, and it's DWR impregnated. It's fancy stuff, and it honestly, it performs really well. I've ground this in a bit on cement with some sand underneath it when I was at the beach. Don't see any much in terms of wear and tear here. Like I said, this material on the back, this is what you want to be careful of. And I don't think they'll have the ability to replace these straps. Peak, that would be sick. What if your bag? What if like you could replace things instead of getting full new ones? That would be some Tom Bin shit. Tom Bin do that. Mystery Ranch do that, where they would much rather fix your bag than you buy a new one. What? Those are some wizards. So all of the new Peak Everyday line is big on the sustainability. I love Peak's commitment and values to that. Thank you, Peak Design. And by the way, I say Peak Designs sometime because I feel like I'm pluralizing the fact that we're talking about, but it's Peak Design, you guys. Okay, one of the biggest things about this bag, I'm gonna put this one away because both are the same here. One of the biggest things is how you can set up this thing to carry however you want. Okay, you've got multiple origami things. You could put a bunch in here. You could have a lot of little flat pouches in here. These actually, do you know this? That they have popping sort of cubby things, so you can actually have 1, 2, 3. So like this way, I can have 3 segments in this main pocket right here. When I pull that up, and then there's one on the other side. This middle place, this is where I put my camera. My Canon GH4 that's doing that. By the way, if anybody knows somebody at Canon, I'd love to switch over to Canon at some point, but I just feel like I should make a video out of it and get all new Canon stuff if I can, because I don't think I'm making enough money to really make that switch. But I want to, and I think that would be better for the channel. The point is, I put my camera right in here, right? And it fits perfectly with my big Voigtlander lens, which is so sick. If you have a Canon camera, just get that lens. Save that money, get that lens, get this aperture light, then you can just sit. You don't even have to make videos. You can just turn it on and look at yourself and pretend you're Peter McKinnon. Speaking of which, down here, I have an accessory from the Peter McKinnon bag. I'll show you. And then up here, I use 2 pouches, okay? So this is my everyday setup right here, okay? Easy, origami, bento box kind of thing, which is awesome. Then on one side, I am using this for some camera stuff. Okay, using the zipper guy just for an SD card, also from the Peter McKinnon thing, and a battery. And one of the things I'm noticing I did poorly on this is this I set up so that it's like it curves that way. I need to flip that around, and it won't do that at all. Let's open this up. I'm gonna switch this around. So just to give you the sense that you can open this all the way. You don't want to. This is not how you do this. These are meant for like get to the side, get to the side, get to the top. It's so nice when you get used to it too. But I take one of these epic tri-fold things. Here's that cubbyization thing that it can do. And it can do that on both sides. Like this is some wizardry stuff. Not by both sides at once, but I mean, you could do it on one side or you can have it do it on the other side. These are really, really, really greatly made. They're bigly. They're bigly, greatly made. They feel solid. They're really sturdy. They have nice, rich padding. Like as far as camera bag inserts go, these are some of my favorite. Big old burly, that stuff. It's one of the great things about this bag and about getting all the Peak Designs bag, like the travel bags like that too. You know that the stuff that you're with, like you're gonna be using for the next several years as you use this bag is like, it's actually thoughtfully conceived. It's actually like they thought about you. They thought about what you'd experience. That's what a designer does. That's what designers do. If you haven't gone out and like gave your designer buddy a kiss on the neck, maybe even a little like, just a little, hey, I've been thinking about you action. You know what I'm saying? Kiss a designer. Go out there and kiss a designer. Why? Because they're solving your problems for you. Come on. What I like to do is I like to grab the thing that I'm, like something that I'm gonna be putting this around. I'm looking for the size of my camera, just about there. Give myself plenty of room and just enough room up top for those other things. Because then once those are in, you don't wanna be ripping this off every time. You just don't want to. Not that like the materials can take it, but you just wanna like, it's just a hassle. Because then you gotta set it back into place every time. So these little things that I have in here, I'll show you real quick. These pouches, because you might be wanting to purchase the same ones. This one's a little tight. I would loosen this up so it's easier to get out, because that would be nice. But what I'm doing here These are like my stuff that I like. It's kind of like my camera version of I always need you, I never want to see you. Like I want you out of the way until when I need you, and then I need to get to you real quick. So I've got some extra lenses in here and a little light thing in this nice padded case from the Peter McKinnon Nomadic thing. That's sick, thanks Nomadic. Then the Bellroy tech case, which is by far and away my favorite right now for my use personally, because it has lots of organization, including this little, like, this is where all my cables are. When I need anything, it's all just protected and shoved back there behind a nice little magnet latch. And then the cables that I use often are out here. So I'm always grabbing that stuff. And same thing with this stuff, spare hard drive, little charger, some other things. And this is where my Mac power adapter goes right there. So when I get to the cafe, like I did this morning, this just sits on the cafe next to me. Right? I've got some filthy little dirt on it. I've been a bad boy, but it looks great out there. It looks great. And this is my very favorite Brown Buffalo Porter pen, which is super simple, but it is burly. It's gonna last a really long time. I can't wait. I love the idea that I'm gonna have this like in 30 years. I hope that's true, barring any like California fires. But in here, I just have a bunch of snacks, a bunch of little like some coffee packets with some mushrooms, a little bit of cash, well, you know, some weed edibles and some meat sticks, you know, the essentials, inebriation and rich fats. Okay, so again, those just go in here like so, relatively easy. And I do love this modularity. I live in pouches like this, especially because on this bag, you're not gonna really, if you're really taking it out with your iPad and your laptop, that quick access pocket gets sort of shitty. It just isn't, it's not where you're gonna put your glasses. It's not, all of that stuff ends up being just whatever you're doing on the side here. Okay, and by the way, up here, I just threw my Rode video mic. Those side pockets would be great for glasses, right up there. Bang, 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 little glasses case with glasses. That becomes your quick access, right? You can keep these top zippers right there, so you can just kind of get in and get what you, where would you need to take it to? You need to take it down a little bit, at least down to there, right? But you get used to that, because you go up and it doesn't really, no, you just need to leave this there, and that there, and then you can get it, you can squeeze in. Now, before I was carrying actually a very different way. I used the, Wander just came out with some new camera. Guys, can you see that? Is that darkness? Is that too dark? These are actually really solid, thick, juicy. They're very felty on the inside. Like it's not like this. I actually prefer this. It feels like it's gonna be around for a lot longer, or like it won't pile as bad, but decent, solid, like construction and just perfect sizes for most part. It has a handle on one side. And so I, for a while, was just carrying my stuff here because I'm always switching between bags, you guys. So like, I'm living in a little bit of a rarefied air because my job is actually to try out different stuff. So I am typically going for a modular thing. What's great about this, if I'm going traveling, I've got my whole kit. If I'm doing like a different kind of bag, like a sling bag or something like that, that this can fit in, not a sling, but like a shoulder bag, I've got my whole kit, right? So I tend to like to do that rather than move into a bag. But sometimes I flip-flop. Like I loved carrying it with the bag, with the camera just right in here, and my stuff in here with the little Peter stuff, and it's like, actually this is killer. I just heard myself saying little Peter a million times in my head in that split second. So here's everything that was living in the bag, now living in here, which I can zip up if I've done my setup right, which is another thing that's so great about this is these are all totally customizable. Once they're in, they're solid when you get them in right? So they don't move around on you. But now I've got everything there. The bummer is whenever I need to pull out my camera, I need to pull out the whole rig, but that's typically how I shoot anyways because I'm doing video. I'm not doing like little quick shots. Those just happen on my phone, which are in my banana hammock. So most of my carry with this has been like that, and I've loved it. I got double protection for my camera and all that stuff, which is great, but relatively decent, you know, cruise around, carry stuff. I noticed that for me, I've got to put the Bellroy on the bottom because you do have this thing here. By the way, one of the things, I didn't even mention this, one of the things that's different on this guy is you have a pocket right here. I'm so modular, I tend not to think about it, but a great place for I always need you, I never want to see you kind of stuff, right? A little pouch that's full of cables or like, you know, nail clippers or whatever that's thin and doesn't take up much space that fits right in there. That would be slick. Another thing that I'm not bringing in this around with me because it was just a little too tight was just this, these guys. My keyboard, mouse, and then this. My roost stand, which gets my laptop up, and then that way I can go everywhere and I can have a setup that isn't super hard on my neck. What I was doing before, I can just fit this in on the side here and just kind of shove it up, but I don't really have a great place for my keyboard. If I'm not bringing the iPad, this can go in there, but I'm bringing my iPad. One of the bummers of like really spreading yourself out into different technology, I used that iPad and the Notability app to sketch out all of my notes on this thing. And I can cut and paste and move things around, but I'm still using handwritten, right? It's like where I do all my scripting. So I gotta have that iPad, right? So where do we get this? So anyways, I just get used to I'm mostly working at home these days, even though it means my son is constantly disappointed in me. But just wanted to call that out because a lot of other bags that I use and travel with make it pretty easy to just throw something like that in. Because we're segmenting the bag with those bento strips or whatever, like I can't just throw something like that in. I can't just do it because so that functionality actually cripples certain other kinds of functionalities. Does it make sense? Sick bags. Ultimately, some of the most functional, modular, origami, like custom organization, set it up however you want, with the durability and the weather resistance, weather proofness basically, and the padding, right? And the comfort. These new straps really are comfortable and slick, and the thoughtful, thoughtful details throughout, like all the little interactions that are awesome, except for when it's a little too tight in the back for me. That's why that stood out so much, is because everything else is really delightful, right? And so it's just one of those little things, and you might not even notice that or worry about that at all. Vast majority of you won't really need to be carrying your laptop in this thing, because this is your bug out bag. This is your get out to the park, go take some pictures, do whatever people do with drones. Like why do you like drones so much? What it's like a real life video game. I'll tell you the kind of drone I do like. Have you seen those little ones? Those little ones, and you can get the goggles and you have a full on RC. You ever been to one of the RC car place? Have you been to an RC store before? I tell you what this is great for, and I'm gonna be doing a big old video on this. Big old video on just that run and gun single camera YouTuber, or even small time production professional. This is such a slick bag for those it's kitted out perfectly. I'm not sure for photographers, wedding photography, all that stuff. You might want to lay out your bag and have access to everything. You might need more space, or maybe less potentially, depending on what you're shooting with. But for those professional photography, drone, whatever you're doing with your drones, probably looking at rooftop shots of me in my banana hammock. This is such a killer bag for that, okay? And I've got a handful more. I've got a bunch of bags that are including the Wandered Duo, which actually is pretty good at some professionally type stuff. It's the Brevit just sent some packs over. There's a bunch of these camera packs. I'm gonna do them all in one video, so you gotta subscribe if you wanna be in on that. I love this thing. I hope you feel that through this. Peak, thanks for making such an amazing design. You guys, the people at Peak are actual wizards. They're actual wizards. They're so successful, it's you start to get the feeling I wonder how weird it gets over there. But they're wizards. You can tell because of the thoughtfulness and the design going into this. They're clearly bringing in cosmic energy through some sort of portal, probably some sort of, some sort of sex, tantra, magic practices of some kind. That's where most of my designs come from. And they're clearly doing it. They're very powerful magicians. So my salute, my magician salute to you. Kill the chicken, spread the blood. Okay, thanks for watching. That's it. That's it for now. Subscribe if you're into it. Listen, get on the email list over at Matterful. I can't believe this is the first time I'm saying this. We're gonna be doing another giveaway at some point, so you wanna be on the email list there. We just did a huge giveaway because we passed 75,000 subs, and we gave away so much stuff. So much stuff. It was epic. I'm stoked for that. We're still connecting the winners to the brand companies because there were so many of them. But the point is, get on the email list there, because I very rarely send emails, and if I do, it's because there's some huge discount going on, or because you're about to win free gear. Another project that I'm working on is an ongoing sort of cannabis and creativity project. I'm putting together a course to help people learn how to use this powerful tool. Cannabis is becoming legal everywhere, and most of us don't have good education in it. And you're getting into into some powerful inner technology there. And I think it's really valuable and potentially, you know, a little bit harrowing. You can kind of skid out in life for a season. Many have. But it can be really powerful for creativity, for fulfillment, for going deeper in your relationships, going deeper in your relationship with yourself, spirituality, yoga. Whoa. Link in the description below for information about that. And other than that, I don't know, just thanks for watching. Thanks for being someone who cares about the kinds of things that you're putting in your life, because the stuff that you buy, you know, that old, what was it? I almost said Foo Fighters line. It's not Foo Fighters, it's the Fight Club line. The things you own end up owning you, right? This is a great example of that. My camera, I'm staring into this lens. Great example of that. I'm surrounded by things that I justify because I do this YouTube channel, but they kind of own me. We're all in relationship with the resources that we need. You're in relationship with oxygen, my friend. You're in relationship with fats and proteins. You're in relationship with fiber. You're in relationship with all the resources that you need in your life. And I love helping people justify a good purchase when there's something to be done. Like, lots of people watching this video are gonna be some form of either hobbyist or professional photographer, and they're looking at this because it does something so specific for our life. Does it do it well? My arguments have been made. I think it does. You can't say that for every product, right? So that's what this channel's for, and for just hamming it up and talking about life, getting into it a little bit. It sounds so youth groupy. Hey guys, come on over. We're gonna have some pop and you know, just talk about life. Am I trying to lure all of you to my basement where I keep my banana hammocks? Okay, I'm gonna jump out now and start editing this thing, get it to you. So thank you for watching. Be yourself, make good choices. Remember, you gotta be yourself. Everybody else is taken. Bye-bye.